on how it happened and everything that's happened since then.
I don't have any regrets with anything. I'm going to compete and play 100% hard no matter who it is, like I said, or who we're playing. No, I don't have any regrets.
I don't have any regrets, Reese said. Meanwhile, Chennedy Carter fumbled her career like a rookie handling a slippery basketball. That cheap shot on Caitlin Clark? Yeah, it backfired big time. The Chicago Sky cut ties with her so fast you'd think they were allergic. And now, nobody's biting. Not a single unrivaled team even considered picking her up. She's out here like a clearance item no one's adding to their cart. Brutal. Let's break it all down.
This comment said we can't still be doing this every year. Chennedy Carter is the reason WNBA won't take a risk on her. This is like
back. In early 2024, Chennedy Carter finally went viral, but not for her skills, highlights, or a game-winning play. Nope. Instead, it was for throwing a blatant cheap shot at Caitlin Clark, out of nowhere, and for no reason.
There's still a bunch of buzz around that chest check that Caitlin Clark got from Sky forward Chennedy Carter. It was ruled a flagrant 1 foul after the game by the league. Bottom line, Indiana got a 1-point win.
That shove? The peak of Chennedy Carter's career. And honestly, that's just sad. Imagine your biggest highlight being a cheap shot on the league's biggest star. Not for scoring, not for winning, not for leadership, just for having an attitude problem. And now, Chennedy Carter is officially jobless. The Chicago Sky took one look at the situation and said, "Yeah, we're good," dropping her faster than a skipped song on Spotify. No team picked her up. Nobody wants her. She's officially out of the league.
I believe Chennedy Carter was let go by the Chicago Sky because of the Caitlin Clark situation. Yes, once she assaulted Caitlin Clark, I believe she signed, sealed, and delivered her future in the W, bruh. I mean, it is over.
You mean too? Tell me you got dropped from the dream, got a second chance with Chicago and still fumbled the bag? Girl, that's not the league's fault. That's a you problem. Teams are done with the drama, the bad attitude, and the Dollar Tree Kyrie Irving act, without the handles or the jump shot. The WNBA is a business. If you're not bringing wins, or at least a little professionalism, you're out. Simple as that.
But the words that came out of her mouth right before what happened kind of made this a little uncalled for. I mean, a little is understated, but it ended up being upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul, and that was not the end of the antics for Chennedy Carter for the season.
Oh, and let's not forget her fans swearing up and down that she's got that dog in her. Yeah, she had that dog all right. A Chihuahua yapping at a grate. Dane because she couldn't handle Caitlin Clark getting more attention. Well, guess what? Now that dog is unemployed, sitting at home, watching the WNBA from the couch, just like the rest of us.
It says here, expect Pagliacco to extend these offers to Evans and Onyenwere, while Carter will be a free agent to test the market as free to test the market as unrestricted free agent. Disguised unrestricted free agent Diamond DeShields, Izzy Harrison, Bree Turner, all expected to sign elsewhere.
Karma always finds its target. Chennedy Carter thought she could get away with pushing superstars, stirring up drama, and acting like she was bigger than the game itself. She played reckless, not just on the court, but with her reputation, thinking she could walk the fine line between being tough and being toxic. But here's the thing about basketball. It never forgets. The basketball gods were watching, and they made the call. Yeah, no, that energy isn't welcome here. Now, instead of making headlines for game-winning moments, she's making them for being completely out of the league. No contracts, no offers, just an empty roster spot where her career used to be.
The one thing that was never talked about in this press conference, the one thing that was never, ever mentioned was Chennedy Carter. Chennedy Carter's name was not mentioned not once. And what I don't understand is none of the journalists asked about Chennedy Carter. No one asked about.
Let's be real. Did anyone actually think this would end any other way? Chennedy Carter's career didn't just fall apart overnight. This was a slow-motion crash that had been coming for years. She burned bridges in Atlanta, barely contributed in Chicago, and then sealed her own fate with that viral cheap shot on Caitlin Clark. That moment wasn't just bad optics, it exposed a pattern. A player who, instead of making headlines for her talent, kept getting attention for all the wrong reasons. And here's the truth. Coaches don't want that. Players don't want that. And front offices definitely don't want that. In a league where every roster spot is precious, teams aren't handing out contracts just because you can pull off a flashy dribble before bricking a shot. They want winners, professionals, people who elevate the locker room, not drag it down. So now what? Overseas, maybe. If a team is desperate enough to take a chance on her baggage. But with the way she carries herself, there's a good chance she fumbles that bag too. Maybe she pivots to TikTok. Maybe she starts a podcast about being misunderstood. Or maybe, just maybe, she finally takes a long, hard look in the mirror. Because at the end of the day, her biggest enemy was never Caitlin Clark. It was never the media. It was never the WNBA. It was herself.
She turned to you a little bit after the fever
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
Extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we made changes to our staff and we'll be making changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we want to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
Carter really thought she was the main character, soaking up Caitlin Clark's spotlight like a mosquito under a street lamp. She cashed in on the extra paycheck all season, benefited from packed arenas and record-breaking ratings, but when it came time to acknowledge why the WNBA was booming, she went silent. Let's not sugarcoat it. Caitlin Clark's arrival changed everything. More viewers, bigger crowds, higher salaries across the board, including for Chennedy. She didn't have to like Caitlin, but at the very least, she should have understood that the rising tide lifted all boats, including hers. But instead of being grateful, she chose pettiness over professionalism. She disrespected Caitlin on and off the court, refused to give credit where it was due, and dodged every chance to own up to it. And now, that spotlight she tried so hard to steal, it's gone.
Not to mention, this isn't the first team that she has been released from for attitude reasons. And at this point, it's looking like Chennedy Carter can be more of a problem in the locker room than an asset of it all, dog. Because we all remember this right here, bruh. This is the moment. I'm telling you, Chennedy Carter's future was done.
Oh, but here's where the script flips. Fast forward to now. Guess what? No team wants her. She went from cashing WNBA checks to couch surfing, from running the fast break to refreshing job listings. At this rate, she's probably on LinkedIn like former WNBA guard, open to work. And let's be real, the WNBA is a business first. Teams aren't here for the drama, the attitude, or the unnecessary headaches, especially from a player who isn't bringing wins, selling jerseys, or putting fans in seats. What did Chennedy actually offer? Nothing but controversy. And now, there's no seat at the table, no contract, no interest. Just silence.
Here you go, the Caitlin Clark, she is bringing all this revenue into the league, and then what's this? Petty jealousy, people smashing her, with these hard fouls, people on the bench. Angel Reese jumps up cheering, like, can you imagine? LeBron James jumped up. It is like so classless, and like, shut up and play basketball and appreciate someone who's helping you and all your co-workers make lots more money.
And let's not forget, the same Caitlin Clark that Chennedy refused to acknowledge is the very reason WNBA contracts got bigger this year. Let's call it what it is. Chennedy was cashing checks with Caitlin's name practically stamped on them. The league's record-breaking sponsorships, the sold-out arenas, the TV deals, all fueled by Caitlin's arrival. That direct deposit? Yeah, that was double C approved.
Teammates to the games, even just when we were trying to make the playoffs, it was a hard fight. Y'all know I went down, I had a foot injury, which cost a lot of games at the end of the season. We ended up losing to Washington. I didn't play. We lost to Indiana. I didn't play that game. I missed a couple of games to where, maybe if we had our whole lineup, we could have had a better outcome. But like as far as like that, there's a lot of just narratives being spent, and from my standpoint, I had a great time, and this was one of the best seasons that I ever had in my career. And I'm not gonna allow anybody to downplay it like it went bad, because it didn't go bad. It was the best season that I've had in my life, shooting wise, playing wise, living wise. Like, it was a great experience for me personally.
The drama with the Chicago Sky was obvious. Bad vibes, locker room tension, and a front office that finally had enough. Now, Chennedy is paying the price for being the league's problem child. Let's be real. Teams want talent, but not a headache. That's why she's unemployed. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is changing the game. Teams want winners, not players collecting beef like it's a full-time job. And this isn't even Chennedy's first issue. Remember when she got suspended in Atlanta? Not a coincidence. At some point, it's not bad luck. It's not everyone else. It's you.
An unfortunate situation, because it does seem like the teams that Chennedy Carter has gone to, there has been some type of, issue and drama.
Letting her go for nothing, I don't think that's the best opportunity for her, because I don't think other teams want her. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. The display she was putting on with her behavior, nah, fam. Nah, no team gonna want that.
Chennedy Carter had her moments last season, but let's be honest, her attitude stole the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Now, coaches and GMs are all saying the same thing. We're good. No max contract, no vet minimum. Not even a training camp invite. That's how bad it's gotten. On her best day, she's a top-tier talent. But her refusal to even say Caitlin Clark's name in interviews? The unnecessary drama? That's held her back more than any missed shot ever could. At the end of the day, why go out of your way to disrespect someone who's done so much for the game?
I still think she's got a big target on her back. I think players are definitely playing a little bit more aggressively with her, but this is basketball. It is professional sports. I think she's handled it gracefully. She is a generational talent. We know what time it is with Miss Caitlin Clark. Leading the WNBA in points per game, averaging 16 points per game, 5 boards and 6 assists. So I love what she's doing as a rookie.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is thriving, living her best life, gearing up to take over the league, and proving why she's the face of the WNBA. And Chennedy? Well, her name is collecting dust in the league's do not sign folder. The wildest part? She probably still thinks she did nothing wrong. Sitting there, waiting for a call that isn't coming, wondering why teams are passing her up. Sis, let's be real. Maybe if you spent less time playing the villain and more time being a team player, you wouldn't be in this situation.